Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary, which feels quite odd in a way, but it's, I don't know, it's not quite as long feeling for me personally. Now, what I mean by that is I have been into the series since way back, but I never played the games really myself until the collections came out on the PS3. Hell, that was, still decent, ways away. But I remember a friend bringing Kingdom Hearts 1 on the PS2, because I had a PS1, PS2, and he didn't. So yeah, so that was kind of a thing. And I was playing the game for a little bit, and then I think I just kind of like, you know what, you play it since you don't have a PS2, and yeah. So this series to me is my favorite series in gaming in general. It's definitely up there, and just in entertainment in general for me. I don't know, I just really find the games really fun. I love a lot of the characters. I love, just the weird mesh of Square characters and Disney. They overall have blended quite well, like the main characters and all that, but it's again one of those series that you look at and you just go and think, how did this work? Now, they put in a lot of time and effort and all that good stuff into that first game to make it as good as possible, and they really, really did. It's not a perfect game. There's flaws to it. There's flaws to every Kingdom Hearts game. But I think that's another thing that, almost in kind of a weird way, Kingdom Hearts as a series is kind of makes you almost accept those kind of imperfections, and that's kind of just a thing in the game in general, that you have incomplete beings, you have imperfect, quote unquote, people and characters and all that kind of thing. So I don't know, some of the stuff that may bother some people about the series or certain games or whatever don't ever really bother me. Like I said, there are some things that I wish were a little bit done better. I like, it might be a controversial opinion. I do wish or think that we probably didn't need to go to the worlds twice in Kingdom Hearts 2. I feel like there probably could have been a way that you could had the story go through it and have the worlds as just one big chunk, kind of how Kingdom Hearts 3 does it. And 1, but 3 more so, because playing through them last year really kind of, for me at least, going through the worlds twice in Kingdom Hearts 2 was kind of a drag. Now, I love Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a great game, but that element in particular just, I don't know, something. I feel like they could have done something different with it, but it doesn't detract from my enjoyment of the game, let's say. But yeah, but again, it's Kingdom Hearts' 20th anniversary, so yeah, it's just feels weird, and it's obviously continuing, and I am personally looking really, really forward to what we have coming next. But you know, like the whole Master of Masters thing, the foretellers, Lushu / Zigbar, the revelations that we've now gotten from the mobile game is really interesting to me. So that's a thing I'm looking forward to. Again, the Master of Masters is the first time I saw him in the back cover Kai thing or whatever. I was instantly interested in this character. Now, some of it was Ray Chase's amazing voice acting as the character, and you can tell he loves playing this character because, yeah. But you know, there's other characters that I think are going to be really interesting. Yozora being one of them, which is his boss fight in Remind was difficult, was good. I beat him, and I don't really have many plans to fight him or beat him legit again. But I did beat him, so yay. That's better than I can say about certain other optional bosses in this series, so make of that what you will. But yeah, I think again, just the whole series as a whole, now that we kind of see a fuller picture about Xehanort, about just the whole thing and Xehanort, his interactions with the Master of Masters, I find interesting. But again, we'll see, kind of a situation. And that's kind of my thing, is I am very much anticipating the continuation of the series, but again, I want to kind of more talk about Kingdom Hearts 1 because it is its 20th anniversary. Now, again, this game is not perfect, but I do really love the game quite a lot. I don't know, maybe I just really am used to or am fine with the way it plays. I don't know. I understand people's complaints about the gameplay of 1, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Really, so... But again, it's just me, so if it bothers you or whoever, then that's whatever. Because, you know, we all have different opinions and different how we feel about things and all that good stuff, so, you know. But... you know, it's, well, Kingdom Hearts 1 again is just such a amazing game that there's so much, well, no pun intended with this, but there's so much heart that you can see in that game. That they were really, really wanting this to work. and they succeeded. I love that the whole game you're thinking, oh, Ansem is this whatever guy, and then you realize about the Seeker of Darkness, and that, and then obviously the series is, there's Ansem the Wise, and there's Ansem Seeker of Darkness, and that happens. But I love the reveal of Ansem in Kingdom Hearts 1. I love it. I also love that for the longest time you'd think, oh, Maleficent's the main villain of this, or whatever. And then, the thing happens, but, again, it's one of those things that, just looking at the game, just Kingdom Hearts 1 by itself is difficult without bringing up everything else, because, well, we have a full series of games to look at and talk about. Like, I find it interesting that the Maleficent that we fight in Kingdom Hearts 1 is not the same Maleficent that appears in Kingdom Hearts 2, because that's a separate Maleficent from the mobile game. And yeah, that revelation really is like, whoa, blew my mind kind of a thing. So instead of it just, oh, she's back. So yeah, but Kingdom Hearts 1, I love the intro. I love the whole Destiny Islands thing. I'm about, oh, Riku's this amazing guy. He's super awesome. He's better than everyone. Oh, look at how great he is, and blah 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 blah. And then, and obviously there's that kind of a whole point of Riku's development as a character starts there, because he is what he is in that first game, and he grows, and I love watching it. But because the Keyblade was originally supposed to go to him. It was supposed to go to Riku, but he gave in to the darkness, and that kind of, well, as young Xehanort would say in Dream Drop Distance, it moved down the list, essentially. So, but yeah, there's just a lot of things to this first game. My favorite world, though, is like Disney World, because I love the Halloween Town. I love that, because the reason why I love Halloween Town in both 1 and 2 is that they didn't just say, here's Nightmare Before Christmas movie, and go through it. It takes place before and after the movie, and I love that. I love that a lot, actually. But yeah, it's most of the ones I like. There's some I love the Winnie the Pooh world, but I also, some of the mini games are just kind of bleh. But I do love the Winnie the Pooh world, because it's Pooh. Pooh's awesome. But yeah, that's, again, I love Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion's a really cool world to me. And yeah, it's, again, the combat is another thing that, yeah, it is stiff, but I look at it and go, they were kind of figuring out this whole 3D action RPG type thing at the time, and so, like, yeah, I can kind of give it a little leeway personally. I enjoy it. I enjoy the gameplay of all the games, but, I'm fine with. The magic system also was a lot different, but yeah, I think I don't know. I think there's a lot that we can look at and just go, yeah, some things here and there could have been better, but really, it doesn't really detract from the game for me. And that's, to me, it's, again, almost all this is just my opinion, and not just saying what tons of other people might say about the game or whatever, but it is my opinion that I like the gameplay. The gameplay is good. Would I like to see a, not remake, but a remaster where they can polish up some things? Sure, I'd be for that. But in terms of story, I don't really need to change anything. So, but again, I think it's another thing. Like, Kingdom Hearts 1 doesn't have as much optional content as Kingdom Hearts 2, but it does have one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts bosses and the Xemnas optional boss. I love that fight because he is such a different fight from everything else you fight, except for maybe Sephiroth, because Sephiroth is also kind of in that same vein of, he's very much different from a lot of other things you fight in that game, obviously, because it's Sephiroth. But Sephiroth fight is more of is kind of where the stiffness of the gameplay does kind of, because really you could look at it and say Sephiroth and Kingdom Hearts 2 should probably be harder, but the reason why it probably felt so much easier was because, well, it's Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 2 was a lot flowed better, basically. And I don't know. It's like I said, some of the other optional bosses are kind of cool. I love Kurt Caesar. I wasn't really a big fan of the Phantom fight. Like, I get it. It's just such a gimmick fight that I just about. Ice Titan is intense. Ice Titan is not supremely difficult, but if you're not paying attention, it can murder you quite easily. But yeah, it's we'll see. It's, again, I'm just again rambling as I normally do. Like I said, we'll see about what happens in the future of this series. And yeah, I think I was just again trying to think more of what to say about Kingdom Hearts 1, really, but I love the just I don't know, just the feel of it, just how much this concept, this idea, probably, well, that probably shouldn't have worked, because that's not giving them enough credit. This idea on paper that you'd look at and just go, that probably blah, weird idea, but it works. They did a good job. They did a fantastic job making this work and making us care about these characters. And yeah, so that's kind of, another thing. Kingdom Hearts is one of those series where I don't really dislike any of the characters. I like characters more than I dislike. Like, I like characters more than I like. I like characters more than I dislike. 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 I certain other characters, but like my favorite character is Riku. I probably have to do a list at some point of like my favorite characters, but Riku is always my default go-to. He's my favorite character in the series. It would take a while for me to probably get the Sora in terms of favorite characters on a list kind of thing, but I like Sora as a character. Of course, Sora's great, but there are just characters I find more interesting, and yeah, but you know, if anyone's ever watched my Kingdom Hearts streams, I constantly will say Oblivion is my favorite Keyblade. Like, yeah, it is my favorite Keyblade. It has been my favorite Keyblade. That whatever game it is in, it's my favorite. But I think also another thing I have to say about the series, my favorite game is still Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep is my favorite. Again, I'm not trying to like really ramble too much about just whatever topics of Kingdom Hearts, but I think, you know, there's another whole debate about how much Disney do you need, how much Final Fantasy, how much Kingdom Hearts, kind of like a weird percentage thing. I kind of am in the notion that it should be like Kingdom Hearts centric stuff, because you can say, well, Kingdom Hearts is just Square Enix games and Disney combined, but no, when I mean Kingdom Hearts centric stuff, I mean the characters that are there for Kingdom Hearts, not, it should mostly be them. They should be the focus. And I would probably say Disney would probably be second, but I kind of would like... I would like to see more, Square Enix characters in the future. Like there was before. And I didn't really get quite onto the we need Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts thing, which, would have been cool if they were in 3. They were in Remind, I know, but in 3 would have been cool, but it didn't really detract from the game for me that they weren't there personally. But because again, I felt like they were trying to focus more on the Kingdom Hearts elements than just the 3 things. But now that we're kind of going into a new chapter, basically, with the series, I do hope that we do see Final Fantasy characters, or whatever Square Enix characters, come back. And I think we will, now that they were in Remind, I think we will see them come back, so... But I want the focus mostly on Kingdom Hearts. I know there's going to be Disney Worlds. I know there's going to be all that stuff, but I want the Kingdom Hearts stuff to be the main focus. And I'm very interested in seeing how the next game opens up, because we know what's going to, what all the little set pieces are, obviously I don't know what's going to happen, but we kind of know where the next game should start, because Sora's in a weird situation. So, But yeah, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see. Um, Again, as a whole, I love the series. I do, and I just always get so much enjoyment out of playing through the games. I get that way about Square Enix stuff, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy mostly, obviously. Because I remember when I played through the Yuffie DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake, I just felt a lot of a lot of just joy playing that, and I just get that feeling every time I play Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts. I just do. And, that's just me. That's me. Other people, obviously, there are a lot of other fans that love the series. And they're awesome. They're awesome people. I might not be quite as into the level of hype that some fans get to, because that's not quite my personality, let's say. But I'm more like intern, like about games, and I think it really you can generally tell when I'm enjoying something, and like I said, these games make me feel that, so that's good. And I do hope that they continue to do that. And I don't see any reason why they won't. So, yes, people say the story is silly or whatever. Yeah, maybe. I still love it. I love these games. They're really cool, fun, enjoyable. But I don't know. It's I like I said, I love this series. I love the characters. And like I said, if a game brings you joy and makes you feel happy, makes you feel good, then they did a good job. And for me personally, they did a good job, and I will continue to support this series as it goes forward, because it is one of the few series and entertainment that I'm really massively looking forward to the next thing, because, well, for me personally, they haven't messed it up. And I've had thoughts to myself, like, is Kingdom Hearts my favorite entertainment thing currently? Because, well, I have no real reason to think not, because again, every little bit of info, and as soon as new info about the new games and all this stuff starts coming out, I am going to be very excited for that. So, but yeah, we'll see. They can completely derail things, but I don't know. Who knows? We shall see. But yeah, it's a series that I think another thing that I love about the series is that it does on the surface people are like, oh, it's Disney, it's a kid game, and I get why some people may think of the game in such a way, because, well, Disney. Oh, the characters are colorful and all that, but man, there's some parts in this series that really hurt and make you legit just feel, and yeah, it's, you know, it's kind of one thing I always kind of want to say, play, or at very least watch Kingdom Hearts, because it is very much worth it. And again, it is a joy to play. Like, that's at the core of everything about this series. It is a fun series to play. And, you know, you can be whatever about the story. You can be whatever about that. For a lot of people, I love the story. I love the it's not, for me, it's not convoluted. It's there's a lot to take in. There's a lot to process. There's a lot to understand and pay attention to, and I like that out of this series. I like that out of most games. If it, you know, not every game has to be like that, obviously, but I do like when a game goes, or a series of games, or movies, or whatever, makes you pay attention, makes you line up pieces and all that kind of thing. I don't know, I just really like that about the series. It kind of just hits some weird right note for me. Just everything about it that's really difficult to fully describe, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's, and you know, again, if some people don't like how the story is told in the game, that's fine. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with making, you know, long videos about why you didn't like a thing or why you do like a thing, and because, you know, we all have different opinions. We all have different opinions about games, books, movies, shows, games. I ever said games, music, whatever it is. We all have different opinions about things, and that's cool. But, you know, as long as you know, don't attack people, don't make fun of people, you don't, you know, all that stuff for liking a thing, then we're cool. As long as no one's hurting anyone. That's all that I want. Yeah, just be cool to people. Just be nice. Which is, you know, a thing that this series is good at. But, yeah, like I said, I love this series. Looking forward to all the things that we have coming. And I am looking forward to, well, eventually playing through the thing again, because it is always inevitable, because it is always a thing I might do. So, which I am probably going to be playing Kingdom Hearts 1 only for the 20th anniversary. So, that is the definite thing. I'm not going to play the whole series, just one. And at some point I'm going to play the whole series again, because again, like I said, it is this series and I love it. So, but before I continue to just ramble on further, if you've never played this series, I do highly recommend playing it. It is very much worth it. It's definitely, you know, there's many ways of playing it now, which is good. Yes, there's the Nintendo Switch Cloud version, which yeah, I'm not gonna get into that, but do try to play the series or watch. There's, plenty of people you can go watch play the series that are more in depth and whatnot about the series, and but yeah, like I said before, I just continue to ramble. Happy 20th anniversary to Kingdom Hearts, to one of my favorite series, if not my favorite series going currently, but it is one of my favorite series ever. And yeah, so thank you everyone for watching, and as always, thank you for being awesome, and until next time.